Hey guys, would you really want to winterize your expensive sprayer with the same thing that you would winterize your old camper with? I'm just saying. Hey guys, Larry the tractor guy here. So I want to talk about winterizing fluid. Winterizing formula to winterize a sprayer. I've got here an R4038 sprayer that we're about to do a winterizing on and get it ready to put up for the winter. And I want to talk about the N305 634 winterizing fluid. It's specially designed to protect these sprayers from a hard freeze. And I'll talk to you a little bit about some of the things that I've seen. But first of all, I want to show you on the back of this list here, it's got a pretty cool mixture table here to show you how to mix your solution up for how low of a temperatures that you want to protect the sprayer at. So what I've found is about 40 gallons of water, and you can see I've got my jugs of winterizing fluid here. About 5 jugs of that, 2.5 gallon jugs of winterizing fluid to about 40 gallons of water. Okay, puts us down there to that -10 to -20 degrees in Fahrenheit. Okay, and so that's a pretty good place to be. And we had some temperatures here in southwest Oklahoma last year that were right around that -20 degrees. And I actually had a few of these sprayers sitting out on the yard here at the dealership and went out and checked those sprayers out and left some solution in the tank and solution in the booms with the winterizing fluid mixture. And what I found was, and I found it pretty interesting, that the winterizing fluid did not expand, sort of like water would expand when it freezes and cause fittings to crack and that sort of thing. We did not see that in these sprayers using this this John Deere winterizing fluid. Now I have seen that in the past with a lot of winterizing fluids, and not knocking if you use RV antifreeze at all to winterize your sprayer, but keep in mind that the John Deere N305 634 winterizing fluid is specially designed to protect also not only against your freeze, but also seals, O-rings, and seals in your nozzle, and then also seals in your solution pump. And what I mean by that is it is specially designed to protect those seals and maybe not cause a premature seal failure in your solution pump. So I think it's a pretty good idea to use the John Deere winterizing fluid. And keep in mind, about that 40 gallons of water in your solution tank to about 5 jugs of winterizing fluid puts you around that -10 to -20 degrees. So I'm going to show you a few things. We're going to go ahead and start the sprayer up. We're going to go ahead and run our winterizing fluid through our eductor here and circulate that through the tank. And then what I like to do is just go ahead and spray that out of the boom until I can see winterizing fluid. And usually sometimes you can do that. You can do it however you want. I do the whole boom most of the time. You could also do independent sections, turn one section on at a time and run that out, but we're going to try to go ahead and run the whole boom. And also keep in mind that you can reuse this John Deere mixture in this winterizing fluid. So what I mean by that is you could drain it into a extra tote that you've got around that's clean. You could drain that and reuse that from year to year too, and then not have to mix as much of this winterizing fluid up. Okay, and so keep that in mind, and we're going to kind of go through this process a little bit of adding our winterizing fluid to this sprayer. Also guys, real quick, the John Deere winterizing fluid also has a special formula in it to cut down on corrosion that can be caused by cross-contamination between chemical and winterizing fluid. So if you're using a different type of winterizing fluid in your sprayer, keep that in mind, that the John Deere winterizing fluid is also specially formulated to cut down on that cross-contamination corrosive reaction. So just keep that in mind. Just wanted to add that to it. So I've got my eductor ready. I've got my jugs of winterizing fluid ready to go. We do have load command on this sprayer, so I'm going to go ahead and hit my eductor here, turn my eduction system on here, and we're going to go ahead and add in our winterizing fluid. keep in mind you can also rinse your jug out here if you desire to do that, and kind of clean your jugs out too. Okay, when you push that down on that jet, it applies a spray inside of the jug to flush your jug out. We're going to go up in the cab and run our solution system a little bit and get everything ran through the system. Keep in mind to unload your rinse tank. Make sure that your rinse tank up here is completely empty. Okay, and then also if you have high flow, which this sprayer doesn't, you'll want to open your high flow meter as well and go to high flow so that you can run solution through both of your flow meters. Okay, I'm going to show you how to get there real quick. So we're going to go to menu, and then we're going to page down, and we're going to go to rinse system, and we're going to click on that, and then it's giving us this page here. So we're going to pick, we want to rinse the, you could pick any one. We could do the boom, the solution system, solution tank only, rinse tank transfer. We're going to do solution system. Okay, we're going to do, how many cycles do we want? We're going to choose 1 cycle. We don't have high flow, so I'm going to leave it in low, and then we're going to come over here and hit the start tab. Okay, so it's priming the pump. It's pretty good to do this when you're doing a winterize on an R series sprayer. Pretty good idea to go through this procedure. As you can see, we're building our pressure up down here, and we're actually putting solution through the system. I don't know if you can see what's going on there, but it's priming the pump. Our pressure started high, now it's going down lower. Okay, so we're going to let it go through the rinse eductor plumbing, rinse agitator system, rinse the bypass, rinse solution tank, and rinse the boom. Okay, and then once it goes through that, I'll show you what we've got here on our winterizing fluid, so stay tuned. I went ahead and shut down my tank rinse real quick because I noticed a few of my nozzle bodies were not turned down with a tip down, so I was going through a lot of solution there. So I'm going to go ahead and run a manual flush on the boom and run this solution, our winterizing solution, out of the boom. Also to keep in mind that if you have fence row nozzles, make sure that we turn those on when we're flushing through our boom and running winterizer fluid through our boom, so that we get that winterizing fluid out through those fence row nozzle valves and tips. Okay, so just a quick reminder on that. So go down and make sure that all of your tips are facing down, because if you have one that's just an open facing down, it'll really go through your winterizing solution really super fast. Okay, so keep that in mind. And we're going to go ahead and start our manual boom flush. Remember, if you have front load, to go ahead and open your valve up, which I've already done that. I'm just going to crack it open a little bit and turn your actuator on and run a little bit of a winterizing solution out of your front load. Okay, and then you can also, once you do that, you can leave it open and go ahead and push that back up into the solution tank with your air purge valve. Okay. Back up in the sprayer, we're going to go to the menu tab. We're going to page down, and we're going to go to the spray system. Okay, and I've already got my manual selected there for 40 psi, and we're just going to run that at a 40 psi until we can see our blue antifreeze solution coming out of our boom nozzles. Okay, so we're going to turn our pump on, turn our master switch on here on the hydro handle, and as you can see, we've got solution. If you can see that, we've got solution coming out of our boom, and it looks like I can see it starting to turn blue now. I'll look over here on the left side. Looks like we got good solution coming out of the boom. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm going to stop at. Okay, and then we can actually go back, and you can pretty well tell real quick whether you've got Plenty of antifreeze coming out of your boom. You can see winterizing fluid was coming out of our fence row nozzle there, and you can see on the ground here that we've got quite a bit of winterizing fluid. And then also something I'll do a lot of times is I'll leave my pump on, I'll come back here, and we've got our back flush valves here on our strainers, okay, and I'll turn that on. That little lever there will turn that on, and you can see winterizing fluid there. Okay, so we're pretty confident that we've got winterizing fluid. You can also check it here on this center boom, strainer here. So I'll crack that open, you can see we've got winterizing fluid. So we've got winterizing fluid out through our boom circuit. Pretty quick way to do that. And like I said, you can reuse this winterizing fluid, and we're going to take a look in the tank and see what we have left over with our winterizing fluid. We can check this out real quick here on the side of the machine on the load command, and it looks like we've got about 20, I don't know if you can see that, but we've got right at 29 gallons left out of that 50 gallons of winterizing fluid that we mixed up. So you've got almost 30 gallons there that you could drain out of that solution tank and reuse. Okay, so keep that in mind that it is a reusable mixture. Okay, and so next year, if you save that, you will not have to mix as much of that winterizing fluid up as you did the first year. Also, keep in mind that when you're talking about winterizing a self-propelled sprayer, these machines are really, really expensive machines, and I know a lot of guys believe in winterizing with fertilizer, and I guess in my mind that works okay. But the problem that I have with that is that fertilizer seems to really drip out of these nozzle heads, and when you've got this machine folded up, those nozzle heads are laying right across pretty close to that machine, up against the cab. And if you've got fertilizer leaking out on everything, everybody knows what fertilizer does. It's corrosive, and it causes corrosion on your boom, and then also on pins and fittings and different metals that are exposed on the sprayer. And so I just really would lean more toward using a winterizer fluid rather than fertilizer because of that reason. It really causes a lot of age to the machine when we winterize these machines with fertilizer. So just keep that in mind. Hope you enjoy the video. Got a lot of videos coming out soon. Larry the Tractor Guy signing out. Hey guys, check out Larry the Tractor Guy videos here, other videos here, subscribe here, and buy all your John Deere parts here.
We'll make it work. I think
We're gonna have to make it
we'll make it work. Come on, let's go.
We need to make
You need some food.
Y'all already burned me out.
some bloopers.
He's sitting in the sun over here, man.